Hello Villa fans and welcome to my brand new transfer series. Over the next month or so, I'll be taking a look at which areas Gerrard will want to improve in his squad, a good look at any linked players and a much more detailed look at hopefully some brand new signings. So make sure you're subscribed for an in-depth look at all things transfer related at Aston Villa this January. So in just a few days' time the January transfer window is set to open and there's plenty of excitement brewing amongst Aston Villa fans. For starters, this is Gerrard's first transfer window since he came into the club, and rumour has it he's going to be given a healthy budget to improve his squad. So in this longer first episode, I'll be taking a look at each position one by one and seeing which areas Gerrard will want to prioritise this winter. First up then is goalkeeper, and there's really no need to hang around here too long. Emi Martinez has always been a superb shot stopper and is one of, if not the strongest player in our team. Since Gerrard has come in, he has encouraged a very brave way of playing out from the back, and so Martinez's distribution has definitely been put to the test. So far though, he's looked confident in doing this, and the most important thing is he is improving at it each week. In terms of backup, we have Jed Steer. He's always proved a trusty and reliable backup when called upon. I think his ability in terms of distribution is probably not up to the standards that Gerrard would like. But I can't imagine there's any rush to bring in a backup keeper this January. In terms of academy players, neither Sinisalo or Marshall are knocking on the door of the first team. Both are good young prospects, they're just not ready for that kind of that step up yet. All in all though, a low priority area, and I'd be very surprised if we saw any signings or any movement at all this January. Ezri Konsa and Tyrone Mings have been mainstays of the Aston Villa defence for some time now, and it's clear that they're the favoured pairing for Gerrard too. I think most fans agree that Ezri Konsa is a top centre-back, and he's adapting well to playing Gerrard's style of playing out from the back under pressure. Tyrone Mings, on the other hand, is starting to split opinions amongst fans. There's no doubt that he's a top leader and communicator, but silly errors and concerns over his ability to play out under pressure are now casting doubts over his place in Gerrard's side. In terms of backup, we currently have Courtney House, who has always been solid and reliable when called upon, but he is out of contract at the end of the season. I think he's probably at a stage of his career where he's going to be wanting to really establish himself in the starting 11 of a team, and to do that I think he's going to have to drop to a weaker Prem side or even go into the Championship. Apparently there is an option to extend his contract by 1 year, but that doesn't seem like a long-term solution, and I'm just not sure he fits into Gerrard's plan. We also have Axel Tuanzebe, who is on loan from Manchester United and was expecting to break into the starting 11 and earn himself some valuable Premier League experience. Unfortunately for him though, he's only had around 6 minutes of game time under Gerrard, which means he isn't getting what he wanted out of this loan move. That might mean that United decide to recall him in January, which would only leave us with 3 first-team centre-backs, a position that we really don't want to be in. It could be that he does stay, but again, that's not a long-term solution, and I really don't think it's likely that we'll be signing him on a permanent in the summer. Looking at the academy, we do have Sil Swinkles and Lamar Bogard, which are both promising prospects, but just like the keepers, neither of them are really knocking on that first-team door just yet. So centre-back is an area that probably could wait until the summer, but I think we may see Gerrard look to get this sorted in January. He will want a ball-playing centre-back that's preferably young and preferably left-footed, though I don't think this part will be a deal-breaker. There have already been plenty of links to Joe Gomez, so watch this space as I do think this will be a priority area, but make no mistake, if Gerrard does replace his captain and an England international, that is a huge call very early on in his Aston Villa career. Fullbacks are a key part of Gerrard's system, and currently he has both Cash and Target playing well. The importance of this area and the physical demands placed upon them though does raise some concerns over injury and or fatigue throughout the season. There are also some question marks over Matt Target and his consistency, so it's very important that we do have some good backup options here. Currently, Ashley Young is the only real backup in this area, but he is generally preferred in a more forward position. Other than that, our only real backup options is to play a centre-back, maybe Courtney House or Ezri Konsa in the left or right back positions, but obviously this would have a huge impact on the way Gerrard likes to play. Gilbert, the forgotten man, is an option to be recalled in January to offer backup for our right back area. though I can't imagine he will want to return to Villa to just sit on the bench when he is currently playing so well. Looking at the academy, Kane Kessler-Hayden looks an ideal fit for Gerrard's system, but he is currently doing well on loan in League 2 and probably isn't yet ready to make that step up to the Premier League. Ben Krasin is also highly rated and has been training with the first team squad, but again, he isn't yet in the position to really challenge for that starting 11. Therefore, I can see Gerrard looking to get someone in who can push Matt Targett for his starting spot in January. His lack of consistency is a big concern, and he isn't quite as attacking as Cash on the opposite flank. I think a young, exciting and very attacking left-back will be bought with the aim of displacing Targett by the end of this season or during pre-season. If you are enjoying this video, then please just take a second to quickly go and smash that like button below. That'll tell me that you like the videos that I'm making, and it will also tell YouTube that other Villa fans might like them too. The CDM role is an area that everyone had already thought needed improving before Gerrard came through the door. Since then, Nakamba has looked really impressive, but then picked up a long-term injury. Douglas Luiz is now the only player that can really suit that role, and whilst I think his press-resistant style and ability on the ball suits Gerrard's way of playing, I do think Gerrard would rather have someone that's a little bit more tactically disciplined with a little bit more bite in that role. The only backup at the minute for Luiz is potentially Tuanzebe, or then possibly moving McGinn or Sanson into that role. The academy options here are Hayden Lindley, possibly Lamar Bogard, who again aren't yet at first team level, so I think adding in this area is a key priority in the January window. Gerrard will want a tactically disciplined CDM who is extremely confident on the ball and press resistant when playing out under pressure. A kind of hybrid of Nakamba and Luiz would be the ideal candidate. This would allow Luiz to then play in one of the centre mid spots or rotate with the new signing in this CDM role. Glenn Kamara of Rangers is the obvious link due to Villa's previous interest in him and Gerrard's current connection with him. Centre midfield is an area that I really don't think we need to spend too long on. We currently have McGinn, Ramsey, Sanson and Luiz if he isn't filling in for the CDM role that can play here. These are all high quality players that can fit well into Gerrard's system. We also have Chukwuemeka and Young who can fill in here if required, and also Irugbunam who is from the academy and is now starting to knock on the door. I'd therefore be surprised if we do add in this area, though I wouldn't be overly surprised if the CDM that we sign could also slot into one of these wider centre mid roles as well. The new 10 roles are certainly an interesting area because we currently have a lot of players that could fit into that position. Currently we have Buendia, Bailey, El Ghazi, Trezeguet, Chukwuemeka, Young and Traore who can all play this role, and we've also seen both Ramsey and Watkins play here this season too. This is the one area that I can see as selling players, with the likes of El Ghazi and Trezeguet more suited as wingers and probably surplus to requirements under Gerrard. One thing that has become clear is that Gerrard likes to rotate players in this position to suit the fixture. For example, we've seen Buendia rested in the game before to make sure that he was fit to play versus Norwich. We've also seen at Rangers that Gerrard likes options here. Some natural 10s, some ball carriers and some direct players. He'll then select a player that he thinks will be best suited to beating an opponent. All in all, I think there will be some outs and possibly some ins in this role so that Gerrard can look to build a squad that is suited to his system. Some people do have concerns over the striker position, as Gerrard, like Smith, has been trying to accommodate both Watkins and Ings in the same lineup. But let's isolate this position on its own for now. Either Watkins with Ings as backup or Ings with Watkins as backup is a very strong position to be in. Ings certainly isn't looking as sharp as we expected at Villa yet, but I'm confident that as he continues to settle in and gets himself on a good run of games, this will come. Villa also have Davis who can deputise if we do have an injury crisis, as well as Cameron Archer who is starting to establish himself into the first team squad. We also have Traore and Bailey who could both fill into a number 9 role if required. Then there's Wesley who is currently out on loan but I think is likely to be one of the permanent leavers this January. He certainly isn't the type of striker that will fit Gerrard's style of play. Overall, I'd be extremely surprised if Villa did look to sign anyone in the striker role this January. So I thought to summarise, I'd rank which areas are the priorities in this transfer window. So coming in at number 1 is a CDM. With Nakamba now injured and only Louise that can play here, I think this is top of the priority list for Gerrard to get sorted this January. In at number 2 then is centre-back, and whilst a little bit controversial, I just don't see Mings being a long-term fit in this Gerrard system, and I think he will want to address that sooner rather than later. In third place then is a left-back, someone young and hungry that can really push target for that starting 11 spot and make it their own. Then, in number 4, I think will be players that can suit that number 10 role. This isn't a major priority, but I know Gerrard likes to make signings in this position, and it is a key part of his system. Number 5 then is a centre mid. We already look very strong in this area, and at the minute I just don't think it's a priority area to focus on. And then finally, striker. We have 2 very high quality options here, and also plenty of backup if needs be. Thanks for watching, Villa fans, and please do let me know in the comments below which areas you think are a priority to sign this January. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the like button, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already too, and please do enjoy the rest of your week.